Once again, my name is B Walk and welcome back to Cop Your Coin, where I show you how to cop your coin in the fastest growing market in world history. Today we're going to talk about Cardano and where I see it going in 2019, a couple of articles. This is actually going to be a pretty strong coin for this year, I predict, and we're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about technically what's going on with it and where I expect the price to go here in the next few weeks, months, and also fundamentally where we're going to go and kind of the timeline and kind of get your ducks in a row, if you will. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Of course, you're always going to know I'm going to ask you to do three things, fam. I'm going to ask you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that alert button so that you know when fresh content is out from Cop Your Coin. Let's get into it. So as everybody knows, when I start my videos, I always want to talk about fundamentally where we are and just kind of the cryptocurrency market. So if we look at coin market cap, which is still my go-to even here in 2019, you see the coin market cap currently is 121 billion, and we've been fluctuating. I know when we closed out 2018, we were going on, it looked like a possible bullish run. Bitcoin had moved up a little bit, gone up to I want to say around 4,200, maybe 4,600. As you see, it's backed off of that. We still are looking for some impetus for it to move. As we look, Cardano is actually falling out of the top 10. It's been out there for a little bit, but that's not so bad. What I'm more concerned with is what the price action is. And so far, it looks pretty good. And as we get into it, we're going to look specifically at the charts. We pull up Bitcoin right here, and you can kind of see. So again, I always go to Bitcoin because that is the big dog at the moment. That is the lead dog, and this is the one that the market is typically following, even financial markets outside of cryptocurrency. So as you can see, we bounced here, and going in towards 2019, it kind of consolidated a little bit and bumped its head. Now I just recently drew this trend line here at the 4,200 mark because that was something that I knew I had seen before, obviously at this point. But as you see, we bounced here on 3,600. So as long as we can stay above this line, closing down on a daily chart, this is a daily chart again, we should be okay. And I imagine that we will gain some strength here and move higher. So right now we look like we're in a little bit in a trading range for the last, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. And I don't know that we'll necessarily get back down to these lows. Looks like we're bouncing right now between 3,600 and 4,200. As we look at Cardano specifically, you'll notice that the chart is not as dramatic, but relatively the same. Okay, so right now we're looking at, let me pull this up a little bit so you can kind of get a better look. Okay, so same thing. It's actually a little more constructive than Bitcoin at the moment. And I say that because as you see, it's higher lows and higher highs. As you see, we kind of hit our low back here on the 16th of December, moved up, backfilled a little bit, moved up a little higher, bumped our head here about a little bit over a nickel, came back down, and we're currently just under a nickel, about 40, what is that, 44, about 0.044 cents. So we're looking here at a possibility of moving higher. We're going to see if it can hold this line. If not, this is the next support line. And then we want to see where it goes from there. Okay, so technically speaking, and this is the 200-day moving average, right here. And as you see, it's sloping down. This is going to be interesting as that gets closer. There's some fundamental reasons here that I think that we're going to have a possible explosion factor, and we're going to get into that here next. But technically speaking, like I said, the chart actually looks fairly constructive. So as we talk about fundamentally what's going on with Cardano, okay, so just specifically speaking, again, all the articles I talk about will be listed down in the description, so feel free to take a look at that at any time. But as you see, it's Bitcoin versus Cardano. Which one is worth more? Now, obviously, at this point, Bitcoin is worth more. Okay, if we can go to the coin market cap and we see that it's a 63 billion market cap. Cardano is down at what, 1.1 billion. So that is considered to be worth more value. But really what this article was referring to is the long game. What is going to be worth more? And we kind of talk about some ideas. This author talks about some ideas of what's going to come down the pipe and things that are expected, that Cardano is expected to do. For example, we know that Cardano is expected to release Shelley here in the first quarter of 2019. I'll get to that more in a moment. But key points. What does Cardano do better than Bitcoin? Well, most of the cryptocurrencies only make use of one layer, while the layer system in Cardano helps it resolve scalability and adoption issues faster than anyone else. Cardano actually has two separate layers. The settlement layer, which helps the network users to transfer ADA tokens from one wallet to another, while the computational layer helps the users to get access to smart contracts. So again, if everybody who's following this, Charles Hoskinson, he was basically integral in setting up Ethereum, and he had been watching Bitcoin, obviously was involved in cryptocurrency for a while, then launched this when they realized there were some limitations with Ethereum and with Bitcoin, and this is considered what we call a third generation cryptocurrency. So some other things that we like about what Cardano has. What does the consensus algorithm of Cardano help it trump over Bitcoin? Proof of work consistency in Bitcoin does not give any idea on who would block the next block, thus helping the hoarders to pan out pump and dump schemes to manipulate the market. Now you're having some of that pump and dump schemes just because it's a young market. So young markets tend to have some manipulation involved. That will all come out in the wash. However, Cardano, in my opinion, smartly went to a proof of stake instead of proof of work, which allows faster transaction rates at minimal cost. The network also makes use of smart contracts for various purposes, which is not the case for Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum also does use smart contracts, but again, it is not proof of stake, it's proof of work with Ethereum. So that's another negative. Now, I know they're trying to work on past that. We'll see if they're able to get there. So when Cardano realized the limitations of proof of work used by Bitcoin and started using the proof of stake consensus, making it unminable, and the network takes it upon itself to maintain the 45 billion ADA tokens distributed in the cryosphere. So a few points: Cardano versus Bitcoin, some bullet points of what it actually is: better transaction speed and minimal transaction fee, safer data stores than Bitcoin and Ethereum, ADA tokens, multi-layered and processing system that allow it to be used as currencies or storage facilities for contact information, reduce charges that are imposed by different exchange platforms, permit faster and efficient cross-border transactions, remove third-party risks like losing some cryptos as a result of involvement of third parties. Finally, is Cardano worth the investment? Well, obviously, I'm a big believer that they are. I think that it has a great team of developers. I like the fact that they're playing the long game and that they are interested in building not only a strong network, but one that is thoroughly tested, and they're taking their time. I said it in a past video, but I'll reiterate it here. When Bitcoin was at the top of the market, the Cardano team, they sold. They sold. Let me repeat it. They sold their position, and that is actually smart trading. I was actually selling up there as well, a number of my investments, but they sold at that point, fully funding their project all the way up to, I believe, 2021. So it comes to a point where they're not worried about money. They've got a team of developers, they've got a team of people, they're hiring people. They are consistent in trying to produce the best product possible. I think that's fantastic. So this is an example right here, just a quick comparison, Bitcoin versus Cardano. If we go to the next article, Cardano entered the next phase, Shelley, in Q1 2019. Now, this was a few days ago, but the gist of it is that basically Shelley is what's going to allow Cardano to become fully decentralized as a network with staking and delegation to that network. So whereas Byron, which was before Cardano, that's just got completed, gave a comparatively basic interaction with the network, Shelley will make the platform more feature-filled and robust, possibly attracting developers to the network. Shelley now pulls Cardano's enthusiastic investors further in, though, through, the social aspect, i.e. how the team can make the network as fair as possible. The key feature in the next phase will be the introduction of the open Ouroboros delegation, which Cardano is currently implementing in code on proof of, and then they also released a white paper on proof of stake sidechains. Among the many features, the multi-signature transactions, quantum resistant transactions, light client support, and major user friendliness refinements, or human friendly addresses. The complete list of features can be viewed on the Cardano roadmap site and testifies to the team carefully constructed development plan. Charles is continually communicating with the community, as well as the other, the foundation, IOHK, which is Charles, IOHK, the founder, Cardano Foundation, and Emergo. They are continually making updates, and they're very communicative, very, very transparent of where they're going. I can't stress that enough. That is excellent as far as being very transparent, showing you what's going to happen so that you can be patient. I know I'm being patient, continuing to add into my holdings as time goes on. So Cardano improvements make for a major 2019. And this is what I think, folks. So as we're going forward here, the next 3 months are going to be critical, because if Cardano can meet this and have Shelley roll out by the end of March, and I'm thinking it's going to be a little before that, but we'll see. I'll give them the time. It's the first quarter. If they can get that up and running by the end of March, and for that reason, Shelley's testnet will be an important part of that release. It's going to be big, because I think the network will be, once they get that running, in Hoskins, it says right here, the network will be 50 to 100 more times decentralized with the Shelley update. This distribution of power is made possible through Cardano's decision to allow for more than 1,000 staking pools and complete autonomy. This is interesting. The other part about it is that I think, and again, we need to realize that the majority of the world, again, is unbanked. What does that mean? When you say that, BWAP, what are you talking about? I'm talking about a lot of people don't have access to banks like we take for granted here in the States, and I know in Europe and some other countries. There are other places where there aren't banks at every corner, where you can't get access to funds to send to somebody. And this is where the foundation, I think, is really making some strides, because they're looking to even set up workshops and classes for youth of Uganda and Ethiopia, for example. So they're looking to continue to grow in these underdeveloped countries and setting them up for success. And that's just going to make the whole network even that much stronger. So as I look back here and just getting ready for 2019, and we're talking about investing, and we look at Cardano and we say, whoa, guys, it's just gone down, down, down. And I don't know, B-Walk, I don't know if I'm a believer. I am. And I'm telling you right now, if it goes down, that means it's going on sale. I'll be buying there. But I suspect, as I said, that it's going to continue to build. Like I said, this is a constructive pattern as we see going up further here. So I'll be interested to see when it can get past that nickel and hold it. I'd imagine that it won't revisit these levels for quite some time. So, question of the day. As far as you think with Cardano, any other information that you've gotten, you know, what do you think is a possible target for it here in the first quarter? If they are able to roll out Shelley in that first quarter, what price do you think it will hit? In my personal opinion, I think it'll get probably up here to 10, maybe 10 cents, probably even higher, because I think that's going to show a lot of faith and a lot of reward for faith for investors who got in early and saw that Cardano, although sometimes slow, not what we expect them to do, not at the time frame, but they do telegraph their moves. And they have been pretty much on time. They've delayed a few months, but it's not been years. They've only been around since 2017. This is just now 2019. Okay? So, anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time on Copy Your Coin.